My name's Tanya. I'm 24 years old. I DoorDash every single one of my meals, and I want to prove to my parents that I'm an adult. I want a Wrangler, but I can't afford $600 a month. Dear salesman, what am I gonna do? I'm a Jeep girl, and I love my boyfriend. He has 3 DUIs and hangs out at the pagoda. That's him in the parking lot, giving himself cauliflower ears with channel locks.
I'm the salesman. Yes, you're a Jeep girl. I've got something for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Let's look at the new Jeep Compass. It's just as good as a Wrangler.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it's 4-wheel drive.
That's what I want.
Then let's... Excuse me. Let's sign some paperwork.
Anybody who sold a Jeep Compass should be indicted under charges of elder abuse, no matter how young the buyer was. This is a grotesque insult to all-wheel drive, and it's a race to the bottom of Jeep's dignity barrel. Awful ground clearance, no armor, no skid protection, and an interior worse than a YJ Wrangler. I've seen better interior build quality on a Polaris Slingshot. The engine, This Fiat, 180 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 175 pound-feet of torque at 3,900. This power would be fine if you could rev the engine like a Subaru, but you can't. This is what happens when you drive it.
Okay, here comes a school bus.
You can give it to her.
Can I catch the school bus? No. It had some speed. Catch the school bus. Oh, I missed second. Oh, the school bus is getting away from me. It's trying. There's 6,000 shift, third gear. Ooh, wow, 2,000 RPM between these gears. Trying to accelerate up the hill, but the bus slowed down because the tractor trailer's up there, and now we're back up to bus number 21. And our lane is ending, so...
It's archaic as the older style.
Oh yeah, well, TJs they're like little trucks. Okay, we're in second gear, trying to climb a hill, my foot's on the floor. This is full throttle up a hill. I'm backing off. Foot back on the floor again. Back on the floor again. Backing off. There are rental car vibes in that it's a very quiet engine, and this is the loudest I've ever felt currently when I'm doing that. How much farther does my... Yeah, it goes down to like 8 miles a gallon, asking it for that. I'm trying to shift as smooth as I can. Maybe I'm trying to compensate for rev matching that isn't there.
I don't know if it's electronically assisted or not, but what I've noticed to make it, how I can get it real smooth, is if I leave the gas on as I pull it out, and then you kind of leave it on as you pull it out.
Interesting. Yeah, there's the top heaviness. Because it definitely drives like a car, but you show it some lateral motion. Uh-oh. Of course, coming from from a 4Runner, you know.
You get the boat feel.
Oh. Yeah, this does feel way softer suspension than, like, say, what was that other tiny SUV, that Nissan something or other, that Vibe, the Juke, no, we just did it, it was so forgettable I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Nissan something or other. No, excuse me, it was a Kia. This is Kia's.
Soul?
No.
That's the box.
I guess this kind of feels like Kia Soul's transmission, although this one is even softer. And it doesn't feel like this was limiting fueling in first gear, whereas the Kia Soul did. If you had the manual, it would limit fueling in first gear.
Does
So-
it have like a throttle cutoff?
Insofar as the electronic throttle, you could push it down more, but it's like I'm gonna just keep it at 80% in first gear. You can't go 100%. All right, so let's give it what I think it wants, and that's nope. That was too slow for second. There it climbs on the cam at around 4.5. Yeah, modulating the throttle up top, it's not doing anything. So there is some nanny state something going on.
I hate its bumper car steering wheel. It has oversized call and answer buttons like your grandma's jitterbug phone. Oh, right, it's a manual transmission. I keep forgetting. This would be blowing my mind if it wasn't so bland. See? The radio button has a radio tower on it. Remember terrestrial radio? This is the mole man in the moaning. Good mole man to you. Media has a picture of a phone because that's where your music comes from now. And the phone button has a drawing of a telephone. Remember telephones? Oh, don't press 0 or you'll get in trouble. 2 little clips on the top or the side where the head unit is would make this head unit better by letting you clip your phone directly to it. I mean, it's almost the same size. The Jeep Compass is cheap. It leaves you feeling cheap, like you snuck into the dollar theater or you went to the strip club and tipped with nickels. It's cheap. And it's clumsy, like a large Doomba nimble moving with the grace of a Mustang leaving a car show, a parking lot turned into a golden corral for vampires. You got rid of the Honda Odyssey because you wanted to feel alive. And then you got this. Jeep Compass Latitude. It's literally a lateral move. This is the car you get when you trick yourself into thinking foreign cars aren't reliable. And okay, there's no reason to get something like a Nissan Rogue, but this sucks too. And it's also an import. There's plenty of disappointment to go around. That's something you learn pretty quickly when you drive cars for a living, or in general. Disappointment is a renewable resource. But then, is it really disappointing when your expectations are lower than a wedding ring stuck in a drainage pipe? A cursory glance online will tell you salesmen have an easy time talking people into a Jeep Compass. Because the customer wants to be a Jeep person, but without having to get something like a Wrangler or a Gladiator. This is large, but it's not big. It's capable in that it has, all-wheel drive, but not so dynamic that it overwhelms you with that scary other shifter. High and low? What could that mean? And it says Jeep. That name means something to people in the United States, even when the Jeep you're getting isn't a Jeep. Because this is a Fiat, and it's barely even that. It's an airport rental for the bottomless Bloody Mary crowd. This is a car with all the originality of a TikTok when someone plays Subway Surfers over a clip of Family Guy. A jungle juice mixture of design cues evoking the Jeep Cherokee with shades of the Dodge Journey using an elongated version of the Jeep Renegade platform fused together with all the aimlessness of a teacher assigning group partners. Every day behind the wheel is an opportunity to experience regret more completely, to place your decisions on the scales and find them wildly off balance, to lose track of what you're driving while you're driving it, beneath the clotted mashed potato clouds that darken as they swell with precipitation, fat with rain, and ready to bust all over your Sunday golf plans. A Jeep Compass is realizing that everything you've been striving for is painfully mid. A Jeep is framed in the American mind like the Constitution, an idealized, unchangeable thing that enshrines you in its fixed state forever. You have arrived, and no one can say you haven't. You now number among the proud, the millions who can say, with a chin extended like Judge Dredd and a chest puffed out like an infected finger at full swell,
It's a Jeep thing you wouldn't understand.
and yet, fewer people are buying Jeeps. Maybe it's because Jeep has pivoted to pushing their more expensive trim levels, perhaps to account for overall sales being down. Yes, the Wrangler goes back and forth between being neck and neck with the Ford Raptor and being well ahead of it. But the Jeep brand is also seeing insane dealer markups, and I'm not even talking about the plug-in hybrid Wrangler. I'm talking about base model Wranglers going more than $10,000 above sticker, with people willing to pay in excess of $60,000 for some of the mid trims, when even the average MSRP for a Wrangler Sahara from Jeep's own website starts at $46,000. Even when Jeep sales are down, like the 9% decline they've suffered so far in 2023, the brand still comes out ahead because people are willing to pay more to be part of the Jeep Club. Oh, the price we can assign to friendships. Instant friendships and instant companions and being approved of by strangers. Oh, that Jeep wave is waiting for you. And all it takes is a little cash. But a Compass? You get a Compass just to join the Brotherhood and expect the three-fingered Jeep salute? To own a Jeep Compass is to gatekeep an experience with no waiting line. The reality of Jeeps in the 2010s is the reality of Fiat Chrysler always. It's in a state of captured mediocrity. Even before Stellantis, it's been stuck. FCA was never great, even though they tried, God bless them. But they could never get past the complaints about build quality for mounts and housings and bushings. These guys were coming in the bottom third of Consumer Reports and J.D. Power rankings. Even as the general buzz around some of their products were strong, from Rams to Hellcats and yes, even Wranglers. But what you got with FCA was the broken promise of limitless potential. Products that were overambitious yet terminally bland. The design features the same kind of uninspired thinking as a man whose retirement plan is slipping out of Walmart and suing for 7 figures. This is the Latitude trim, which gets you a nicer interior, and it's coupled with the cold weather package, which is heated seats and heated steering wheel. Back to the engine. It's the 2.4-liter multi-air Fiat 4-cylinder Tiger Shark engine. And it's matched to a 6-speed manual transmission, which is honestly pretty rare for this Jeep, especially the not Jeep Jeep. But again, this is Jeep in name only. It's a Fiat. Never forget that. The multi-air system was developed by Fiat Powertrain Technologies to provide hydraulically actuated variable valve timing and variable valve lift, while the transmission was also sourced from the Fiat Powertrain Technology division. Fuel economy for this little box is about 25.4 miles per gallon, and that's with the manual. The Compass is aimed at the hatchback crossover market to try to bring in customers who might not have naturally gravitated towards a Jeep product. It's presented as a standard accessible hatchback, so much so that they didn't even play off its off-roading capabilities or any of that. Despite debuting in 2007, the Compass didn't get trail rated badge. Jeep's own, we're going to make up a award and give it to ourselves, until 2001. The same year it got a Grand Cherokee-esque styled facelift. Ultimately, the Jeep Patriot, on which this is based, got discontinued, and the Compass became the standard bearer for the compact SUV Honor. But I guess to make it even more salvageable, it took even more inspiration from the Grand Cherokee. from narrower grille slots to integrated headlamps. It's not like it's a replica, but it does feel like FCA wanted to have its cake and eat it too, which is something I say a lot. To say you could have the Grand Cherokee experience without the baggage of being the type of person who puts a work in progress on their Twitter bio. The Jeep Compass, the official car of the Wine Ant Autobahn.
On behalf of SkyWest Airlines, we would like to welcome you to Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Airport. And here you go. Here is your rental compass. It's as bland as that cold spaghetti and plastic cheese meal you call culture. On behalf of our Philadelphia-based flight crew, we ask, why are cool people moving to Cincinnati, Ohio?
Philly is so much better. At least our sloppy signature meal tastes good. I feel like I'm driving to a PTA meeting where I'm both the parent and the teacher. I feel like I'm an adjunct professor in this. This is my life now, driving a Jeep Compass on 5 hours of sleep every night. We're going to a faculty meeting, and Tommy Fenstamacher is on the itinerary, which is weird because he graduated 2 years ago. We heard the other students talking about him, and this is what they said.
Dude, I heard Tommy Fenstamacher flunked orientation.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has a doctor's note that allows him to go back to the elementary school for recess.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has morning breath before he even goes to sleep.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher still has overdue library books.
You know, Tommy Fenstamacher was my lab partner for like 3 weeks before anybody realized he isn't even a student here.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has overdue coloring books.
Dude, I heard Tommy Fenstamacher graduated 3 years ago and he's still on academic probation.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has overdue kickballs.
Yo, I heard Tommy Fenstamacher busted on an original Picasso, and now it's worth more.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has to drink prescription milk.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher owes back child support to his own father.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher lives in an off-campus apartment, but he still has to get a hall pass to use the bathroom.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher's kink is missionary.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has to get a permission slip to eat cream chip beef on toast.
You know how humans are like 70% water? I heard Tommy Fenstamacher is 70% Capri Sun.
I heard the Level 400 school law class for graduate students has a week devoted to Tommy Fenstamacher.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher kicked a dude in the front keister so hard, the doctor says even his grandkids won't be able to have children.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher has an internship now, but in loco parentis still applies.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher got kicked so hard in his crinkleberries, his Adam's apple is now an Adam's orchard.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher is the reason that all textbooks in the student bookstore no longer have pictures of trains in them. Because trains make him bust.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher takes remedial lunch.
Is it wrong if I say I don't want this today? I said, oh, I just drove a Laredo. I said